And now for something completely different. Welcome back to Overtime Arcade. I'm Charlie, and in today's episode, I've got something new to show you. That's right, I recently picked up a new machine to work on in the garage, and in this episode, I'm going to show you what it is. I already know what you're probably thinking. Charlie, you've already got a mess of projects out in the garage to work on. What do you need a new machine for? And you're probably right. But this is something that I've kind of wanted for a while, and I got a good deal that I couldn't pass up. I'm excited to work on this. It's definitely unlike anything I've ever worked on before. It does need a bit of work, but we'll get that knocked out and we'll add it down here to the lineup in the basement soon enough. This is definitely a machine that I and you and everyone watching this episode, I'm sure, has used hundreds of times throughout their lives. I'm actually just working on wrapping up editing this video on my computer as we speak. So what is this mystery machine? Why don't we head out to the garage and find out? Let's go!
Overtime!
All right, here we are out in the garage, ready for an unveiling. So, like I said, this is a machine that you've probably seen hundreds and hundreds of times, no matter who you are. You know, all the time, you'll find them in arcades all the time, even today, even these days. You know, it's an absolute staple. You know, so this is something that I've been looking to get for a while, something like this, and one popped up available recently, or I became aware that it was available, and yeah, I'm looking forward to, you know, digging into this. This will be sort of a project we keep, you know, slow boil on the back burner. You know, maybe once in a while if we're stuck waiting for parts for another game that we're working on or something like that. But this should be fun, something that I'm definitely going to get use out of. I think my kids are going to enjoy this. And yeah, so without further ado, let's unveil it. Yeah, okay. Where's that trombone sound effect, that sad trombone sound effect? It's a change machine. It's a, let's double check the model number. It's made by Rowe, the sort of, you know, I think of them as the jukebox company. It's a model number BC11D. Yeah, I bought a change machine. So why the heck did I buy this? Well, in my basement, in my home arcade, I keep all of my games on quarter play, right? A lot of home collectors don't like doing that. They like putting them on free play, or maybe they put them on tokens. You know, free play is very, very popular. But I like having them running on quarter play. I feel like that's the most authentic thing that you can do. You know, I've got that big blue bucket full of quarters that my wife and I use to bribe or incentivize good behavior in our children. So, you know, if we want them to clean their rooms or something, or you know, do a chore or whatever, we'll reward them with a handful of quarters if they do a good job. And where else are they going to spend it other than down in the basement? And those quarters get collected by me and put right back into the bucket. So it's like a closed economy company store type of thing. I think I've made that joke before. But yeah, this will eventually replace the blue bucket, and we'll set it up so that you just press the money return button and it dispenses 4 quarters. So they're not going to have to put dollars in there. But I do want to get it back to work fully functional. And yeah, so a little history actually about this before we open it up. So I got this from a local collector, goes by the name of Jacklick. On the Claw forums. He's also a fellow content creator on YouTube. He's got a channel called Jacklick's Arcade and Tech Repair Journey. Very, very technical, more technical than me. Gets into, you know, a lot of more nitty-gritty details, and I learn a ton of stuff from him. I really like his channel. You should definitely check it out. I'll put a link in the video description. But so this has been sitting in his garage, I guess, for about 4 years. He got it in 2018 or so. I guess he hasn't really done anything to it. And he got this from another local collector who goes by the name of Dog P. And this was sitting in his garage for maybe a dozen or so years. So it's now in my humble possession. I feel like the torch has been passed on to me with this thing. And yeah, we're going to try to get it back to working shape. This thing is really heavy. Takes quite a bit of force to try to tip it over. And it's very top heavy. All the weight is sort of up here. The mechanism kind of ends down here. And this is just like a stand. It's a hollow, I don't know if it's open in the back now. It's just a stand or pedestal that the actual change machine sits on top of. You can mount this thing to the wall. There are mounting holes to it, but very, very heavy to mount onto a wall. So most, I guess, places would have it mounted on, sitting on this pedestal and then just anchored to the wall. And yeah, so I don't really know anything about this. I've never worked on anything from Rowe. I've thought about getting a CD jukebox in the past, but I don't think these are particularly complicated inside, but we'll learn all about it. I did order let me see if you can even see this. I did order a manual, an instruction manual for this series of change machines. I got this off of eBay. I couldn't find any digital copies of this, and Rowe is a company that's still in existence as far as I know. I think they still build jukeboxes, so enforcing their copyright. So if you want a manual, you got to buy a physical copy. So it turns out that this BC11 series of change machines came in two versions. There was the BC11D, which is what I have, which is the deluxe model, and it both has a dollar bill acceptor to you put in $1, gives you 4 quarters, and I guess up here is was a you could put like a $50 in there, like a 50-cent coin, and it would spit out 2 quarters. I think you could also set up where you could put a quarter in there and you could get 2 dimes and a nickel. I don't know if that was for like way back when way back when payphones only took a dime, and we actually had payphones. But so this is the deluxe model. And then there was the BC11E for the economy version, which only had the dollar bill acceptor and not the coin acceptor. So yeah, it's got this lock bar that's been added to it, obviously covering up the original sort of printing for dollar bill. Says Rowe down at the bottom. This sticker says, warning, $1,000 fine, imprisonment under a new federal law in the 70s. Or 60s actually, under a new federal law. Any person who uses other than genuine US dollar bills in this device can be punished by fine and or imprisonment. Public Law 87-667, House Rule 8038, September 19th, 1962. Wow. So I guess before that it was legal to try to commit fraud using a fake dollar bill on a machine. But yeah, the lock has been removed, or most of the lock has been removed anyway. It's got a power cord sticking out the back, UL sticker, and just a serial number. It's serial number 21800. Wow, 300 watts, 7 amps. Uses a lot of power. So yeah, I've just got this heavy duty zip tie holding it in place. And let's pop this open and see what we're dealing with. All right. I could already see there's quite a bit going on in here. So first thing I notice is there are tokens kind of all over the place. And you can see a bottle cap transistor, maybe 2 of them right there. There's tokens here, there's a bunch of tokens sort of in there. You can see shininess. Tokens down here at the bottom. These are the hoppers that the coins go into. Let's see, do we have any in there? It's too dark, I can't quite tell. Yeah. This is where, here on the door is where I guess the sort of coin mech would go that would, see if it was a good coin or not before making change for a quarter or for a $50. And I think this is more elaborate than just a typical sort of, coin mech that you would find in an arcade game or a pinball machine. So we'll have to figure out what to do there. There was sort of supposed to be a locking mechanism, a lock bar. Like you would turn the lock down here and it would push these sort of arms up and down like a vault. And so those are missing. This is the backside of the lock with a huge E-clip on it. This was the return chute for coins that were rejected and sent back to the user. We've got some, I guess, some quick instruction sheets here. What's going on in this hopper? Got some wiring here, I'm not sure, and a transistor, not sure what's going on with that. Let's see. A spring, a bunch of tokens, and some random hardware in there. Let's see what's going on with some of these tokens. Might be some interesting stuff. Let's see. No cash value. That's sort of a generic one. So what is that, an elephant? Or 2 elephants? That's for the Nugget Casino? Like Las Vegas? What is this? I can't even see. I guess that's the Nugget Casino. Yeah, there's all kinds of different stuff in here. Here's one with, what is that? Some sort of paper tag. And this is that like a genie? What does this say? Harrah's in Reno. So maybe this change machine was originally on location in Reno, Nevada. I guess that's kind of cool. I guess this whole hopper just kind of comes out. So yeah, we got some random bits and bobs down there. And we'll put that back in. Oh man. Let's see. So this is the bill acceptor, and this is the, I guess, the bill stacker. And it uses, I guess, a sponge instead of a spring or whatever to hold those bills in place. Down here we got the electronics. I guess there's a power supply inside of this, and some of the logic is in here. And this is a computer sort of assembly. So this, I think, is just plugged in, and I should be able to pull it out. Here we go. Yeah, I think this is the computer module. Let's take a look. BC11 and BC20 Computer Control Center. So we've got some dip switches here to adjust different things, different payouts, whatever. So I think this is like the computer module. It says change payout programming procedure. Yeah, so I guess this is how you program the change machine. And there's some, yeah, there's edge connectors right up here on top. Almost look like a double set. And I can see in here the edge connector housings that they plug into. So I guess this, you would pull this out and you could reprogram it to change, you know, how the machine operated, right? Like what you wanted it to do. But I guess most of the time you wanted $1 to go in and, you know, 4 quarters to come out, or tokens, or whatever it was set up for. So let's look at some of this. We've got some counters here. Looks like, is this the number of dollar bills that were inserted? 477,049. So nearly $500,000 in dollar bills were inserted into this thing. 26,000 50-cent coins. And what does that say? 581 quarters were inserted to make change. So yeah, does that make this nearly $500,000 went through this machine to make change? So that's pretty cool. There's a switch that's been sort of hacked in here. If you can see it, there's a, what is that? Like a cherry switch. It almost looks like a combination of micro switch and, yeah, so there's a switch right here that's been wired in. And if you turn this is the coin return sort of actuator, it makes contact and closes that switch. And I think this had been set up for, you know, whether Dog P did it or Jacklick did it, to be used in a home setting and just press that button and dispense 4 tokens, which is sort of what I wanted to do, except we're going to use actual US currency. All right, before I turn this thing on, I'm thinking I should probably try to get as many of the loose tokens out of the machine as possible, just in case they get sort of, you know, bound up with the mechanism. So I think I can just take this out like that. And then these hoppers rotate down. And how do you take them out of here? Can you take them out of here? I'm sure you can, but I thought it was thought it was simpler. I thought I could just pull it out, but I guess not. Let's see. This one has no tokens in it. Oh, this one's got a ton. Look at all these. Whoa, we're running all over. What else we got? Anything interesting? Harrah's, Atlantis, Family Fun Center, Golfland Arcade, a lot of generic ones. Fun Quest at the Reno Hilton. So maybe that was the arcade in Reno that this change machine was in. There's a bunch in here. All right, anything cool? More from the Nugget. What does this say? This one says Boomtown Family Fun Center, Boomtown. If you've ever been to any of these back in the day, whoops, there go running all over. More from Golfland. If you've ever been to any of these, let me know. If you remember going to any of these arcades growing up, I think that'd be a lot of fun. All right, let's put this sucker back in. All right. I don't really want to tip the cabinet over. FunQuest, Reno Hilton. But there are so many, and they're just everywhere. And all these nooks and crannies. It's kind of cool. Here's Bully's Sports Bar and Grill. Atlantis Entertainment Fun Center, Reno, Nevada. So I'm guessing, here's one. Just as another, oh, this is Beltway Plaza Mall, Greenbelt, Maryland. Okay, so we got some, that's more local to me. I'm in Virginia, obviously, but Maryland's not far away. All right, I'm not going to bore you with reading all these off. Actually, I can pull this out. There we go. That makes it easier. I got a bolt here. Oh, there's a bunch over on this side. Maybe I can pull the computer module out of the way. Generic one. And I guess, you know, people would go from arcade to arcade, and any tokens that they didn't use, they would bring to the next one, which I don't know if arcade owners really liked that. I mean, with quarters, you know, you were putting real money into their machines, but with tokens, you know, the money was only going obviously into the change maker, into the token dispenser, and that's where they got your money, right? And then what you do with those tokens, oh, there's a whole bunch in the back here. What you do with those tokens afterwards, right? I mean, they kind of wanted to get their tokens back so they wouldn't have to buy new tokens, but if you brought those tokens to a competing, it's just old plastic or something, to a competing arcade, you know, the first arcade would get your money, and the second arcade would just get tokens. Just looking, oh, here's Camelot Park, Modesto, California. Is that focusing there? This is like a little archaeological dig, right? Just looking for ones we haven't seen before. I'm not seeing any. Oh, man, there's like a stack of them in there. Let's see if I can try to wiggle these out. Generic. All right, let me mess with this for a minute, and if I see any interesting ones, I'll pop up and show you. All right, I figured out actually how to remove the dollar bill acceptor, which is going to help us quite a bit. There's just a couple of Molex connectors here, and a loose one up here with some wires cut. That's interesting. So I should just be able to pull this thing out now. He said I should just be able to pull this out now. No, what is it getting hung up on? It's on just this right side. Is there like a spring? There we go. Little spring-loaded catch. There's a bunch in here. Should probably just shake it out. All right, so there's our, wow, big old heavy dollar bill acceptor. Look at all this. There's lights. I think I can hear something loose in there. Well, there goes a token I'll probably never find. Yeah, lots of optos in this thing, I think. Oh, there's some notes on the side. Here we go. Let's see. Can you see this? It says state sales, customer repair, work order number, account number, customer Michael. Oh, okay. Date in 4/19/99. All right. So this was worked on in 1999. And then down here, again, another sticker from State Sales and Service. There's an 800 number. Tech DR 4/28/99. What does that say? Something sensor light, something optics, beam optics, and bill path. So maybe he cleaned this thing and replaced some of the sensors or whatnot. All right, that's cool. Let's check out what's going on in this hopper. So some plastic, whoop, there goes a token. I'm gonna be drowning in these things. What does this say? Palace Entertainment. Is there a Caesar's Palace in Reno? Is this an exciting episode? Is this what you signed up for? So we've got some bottle cap transistor, Motorola 7805, some wiring, and what's in this little envelope that we've got. Looks like just some metal bracket, maybe part of a lock mechanism or something like that. Nothing particularly interesting there. Okay. And yeah, in this hopper, I guess this is to collect the coins that were put in to make change. Some bracket, some bolts that I'm dropping. Big bolt, spring, more bolts. Oh, here's one. Laugh out loud stations. If you remember any of these, definitely tell me about it down below. Oh, here's an interesting one. Okay, this one also says Camelot. Is that showing up? Camelot, Modesto, California. And on the back, it's got a Pepsi logo. How's that? Another one from the Beltway Plaza Mall in Greenbelt, Maryland. I wonder if that still exists. Okay, so let's put these things back in and see what happens when we power it on. So this kind of just went like on these rails. All right, like so. Two Molex connectors. Yeah, and there's cut wires here, so I don't know if that was part of the mod done to make this just sort of spit out coins when you hit the switch. Bill stacker. Let's put this computer module in. Okay. Nope, that's the wrong way. There we go, that makes more sense. All right, I think that's seated in the, oh, there's another one back here. So I think I got the computer seated. Another Beltway Plaza Mall. So maybe this was used in Maryland, given what we're seeing there. Okay, what's missing? This sort of bracket. Okay. Don't need this in there. Okay, so am I forgetting anything? Oh, let's load these up with some tokens. All right, because we want this thing to do something, don't we? Okay. Try only putting tokens in and not all this other sort of random gunk. All right, put a good amount on this side. And a good amount over here. Like I said, I have no idea what's really going to happen when we turn this thing on. I'm hoping I don't trip a circuit breaker or who knows what. So if sparks fly, we'll see. Okay, let me plug it in. How's this wire looking? Still has its grounding plug. All right, no major issues with the wire. At least not for now. It's bent up a little bit, but all right, we're plugged in. The power switch is right here. So here we go. Are we in frame? Can you see this? All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, there is power going to the machine. You can see the light here for the dollar bill acceptor is illuminated. And there's more lights in the back, I guess, for the that are used by the optical sensors. I'm surprised it's on right now, though. Okay, that's a good sign. We have 5 lights for the 4 different voltages that this power supply, I guess, produces. All DC, 5 volts, 14, 30, and 40. I'm trying to look over here on the computer. So there is a light flashing that you can't quite see. Right here, this light for Mac was flashing, but now it's not. And there's a little error light here, kind of like on a Williams arcade circuit board, and it has a little dot, but no status code is being displayed. So let's close this door. All right. I don't know if there's any way for the machine to know that the door is closed, but this dollar bill light is on. The out of order light, well, there's no bulb for the out of order light, so it's not going to do anything. So why don't we try hitting that money return button and see what happens, if anything. Whoa. So we got coins came out. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 8 coins, maybe because I hit it twice. Did I hit it twice? Well, we got tokens, and these are different ones. A different generic one that I haven't seen. Golfland again. Fun Quest. Oh, here's one that's a little bit different. So it says the sort of typical no cash value on this side, and then it's just this kind of like, I don't know, starburst pattern. So those must have been sort of in the hoppers. There's like a serpentine, like a metal chain, serpentine chain that kind of counts the quarters or counts the coins and separates them. So let's try doing that again. Okay, that didn't work. Do I have to hold it down? All right, got another 8 tokens here. Okay, I'm not seeing anything different. But maybe I have to hold the switch down or hit it a bunch of times. Let's try holding it down. Nothing. I gotta hit it a bunch of times and eventually it spits out 8 tokens. So is that, oh, here's a bronze-colored, copper-colored Beltway Plaza Mall. And it's running. Okay, I think that means it's like loading up for the next batch. So I'm not sure quite what's going on with this switch. If it's just sort of really there we go. Okay, I think I only hit it one time then. So it's set up to dispense 8 tokens for each pull. So let's see. Yeah, nothing unusual here. So we're gonna set this up at some point to, we'll do a couple things, right? We'll set it up so that it dispenses 4 quarters instead of 8 tokens each time you hit the button. We'll sort of put a little bit more robustness so that it's, like right now it's just like really flimsy sort of switch behind. I feel like I could break it, and my kids will definitely find a way to break it. I hear the hoppers running. Okay, maybe it did load it up fine. So yeah, we'll get it all cleaned up. We'll make it look nice and new again. We'll sort of figure out, you know, if we want to do something, if anything, with this coin acceptor. I don't know if there's been like a plate installed to cover it up, something like that. We'll figure out something to do with that. I do want to set it up so that you hit this button or hit this money return sort of lever, and 4 quarters come out. And you know what? Let me go grab a couple dollar bills and see if this dollar bill acceptor is working. Okay, so I actually didn't have any singles in my wallet, so I went and raided my wife's purse, and I found $4 bills. So let's see. Do all these tricks to, remember back in the day, vending machines and stuff to make the dollars get accepted better. You want to make sure you don't have any bent corners and everything's kind of flat. So let's see if this dollar bill acceptor works. Nope. It's not even. Ooh, and we got a voltage out now. Can you see that from the camera? The 40 volts is no longer lit. Let's power cycle it and see if that makes a difference. The 30 volt one is staying on even though the machine's off, or I guess it's kind of fading. Interesting. Like I said, I don't know anything about these machines. There we go, all 4 are lit. Maybe it uses that for the dollar bill acceptor. So let's try it again. Oh, I heard something. I heard something. Look how slow that is. It's trying. It's probably just all dirty and oh, it's getting most of the way and then coming back out. Oof, we're getting closer every time. I wonder, so this is a 2013 dollar. I wonder if the dollar has changed. Was the dollar redesigned? It's another 2013, another 2013. These are all 2013 dollar bills. So, and this is probably the best condition one out of the ones I've got here. So if this one doesn't work, none of them are going to. Oh, we're getting so close. I want to see this thing go all the way through and then spit some tokens out. Yeah, I can see there's like, not a gear, but like a wheel. It's dirty. Let's try it a couple more times. Is this thrilling stuff? Like that Super Bowl commercial, right? All right, I don't think this is gonna work. Well, I tried it about 50 times and now the dollar bill is fully stuck in there. So I'm gonna have to, I don't know, get tweezers or something. You can barely see it. Anyway, I think I'll wrap up the video right here. I hope this was at least somewhat interesting, right? Not exactly an arcade machine. Oh, there we go. Oh. There we go. At least I got my dollar back, or my wife's dollar back. So yeah, I hope this was at least somewhat interesting. Obviously, this is not an arcade game, not a pinball machine, but something from that era, something that I'm sure a lot of you out there like me have put tons of dollars into these things. So yeah, we'll slowly get this thing working, get it back to life, get everything sorted out, and then put this down in the basement at some point, and have the kids hit this button to get their quarters. All right, let me actually turn this sucker off. So I think that will do it for this episode of Overtime Arcade. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely something a little bit different. Anyway, as always, I'm Charlie. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Overtime!